Hi there, I'm Lara from 5 out of 4 Patterns and welcome to Sewing School. Today we're talking about yet another headband. This time it's called a Fisherman's Knot Headband. It looks super complicated, but once you get the hang of it, you'll find that it's fast and it's easy and people will be amazed with your skill. Let's get started. Okay, let's talk about what we need. First, we need a 3x3-ish, not perfection, inch square of a knit fabric. We're going to put that to the side, that's for later. Then we need 6 1-inch strips of fabric. These are 1 inch by about 40 inches. You won't need all 40 inches, but it's nice to have a little leeway with them. So this is a two-way stretch. I find that two-way stretch fabrics work much better because they more easily curl in on themselves. So what you're going to do is you're going to cut your 1-inch strip, and then you're going to take each strip and you're going to stretch it. Okay, and that causes it to curl up like this. Now, what I have here is I have this particular two-way stretch knit, just kind of a standard t-shirt knit, and then I have this black, which is a double brush poly. Now, it will work, but it has a harder time curling up on itself. So you have to take a few more minutes with the double brush poly to really give it all a really good tug. But it will, you can see, it will, if given enough tugs, it will curl up on itself. But I do find that I do like the two-way stretch fabrics better, but like I said, these fabrics will do. So you can use double brush poly, single brush poly, you can use cotton lycra, you can use a two-way stretch cotton jersey, or whatever. As long as it's a stretch knit, you can certainly give it a try. So I've got 6 strips. For your purposes, I'm doing 2 different colors. So I've got 3 in the black, get this over here, and 3 in this greenish, beige, whitish fabric. All right, so we've got 6 strips. So let's just try to get our knot, okay? It's not difficult. You just have to pay a little bit of attention. So I'm going to move away the whitish colored strips and strictly work with the black ones. Okay, so with the first set of 3, I'm going to use the black first, and we're going to make a loop. Okay, here we are with our loop. That's it. That's all there is to the black. Now, we're going to take our cream colored strips, our other 3 strips, and we're going to make a U. Okay, a U. Here we are. So we have a loop and a U. All right. Now, we're going to take this upper right-hand corner here, this piece of black, and we're going to bring it up over the top of the cream. Okay, so we've got a black that's under and a black that's over. The next thing, we're going to take this lower left-hand piece of the cream colored, of the U, and we're going to place it under the loop, just like this. So you can see it's under the loop. All right, so you have over and then under, and then we're all under at this point. All right, the next thing to do is to take this upper right-hand corner, and you're going to kind of weave. You're going to go over the black, under here, and back over the black. So it's over, under, and pull it through, over. Okay? Yep. Next thing to do is to hang on to one side of your tails, and then pull a little bit on this side, and then hold this side, pull a little bit from this side, and then hold again, pull a little bit from this side, and you're going to keep pulling until you get it about the tightness that you want. I don't always like it super tight because I like it to be a little bulky and you can see everything, but just going to play with it a little bit. So you've got this kind of over-under weave situation going on here, which is pretty cool. You can use either side of it. Both sides are pretty. And there we have our knot. Now I'm going to show you another version of this that's super pretty and super fun, and people will think you're crazy talented. It's happened to me. But this is the first knot. We will move on to finishing this in just one moment. For a variation on the Fisherman's Knot Headband, we're going to do a braided version. So as you can see, these are shorter than we need. You still need 6 1-inch by 40-inch pieces of knit fabric. But what we're going to do first is we have to braid these strips together. So we're going to stack them. Then I'm going to put something heavy on top of it. This time it's going to be my cup of tea. Don't yank on the fabric too hard or you'll pull it out and maybe even dump your tea, and that would be tragic. So here we have our 3 pieces of fabric, and I'm just going to braid. If you don't know how to braid, here's a quick thing. Over, 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 and I tighten it as I go. It's just a fun little weave. If you've braided hair, it's the exact same thing. So you're going to braid all the way down that 40-inch piece, both sections. So there are 6 total strands. So you have 2 pieces, so 2 pieces of 3 strands, and each of those is going to get braided. That's 2 braids total. So you're going to braid all the way to the end, as tight or as loose as you would like. I like it pretty tight, but that's me. And that's it. You are then going to secure them, each end, with a pin or a clip. Once you've got both pieces braided, you're going to have 2 braids. That's it. So we're going to repeat the exact same steps of the first variation, and we're going to start with the loop that comes over here, and then our U. Okay, then we're going to bring this top right over the top of the U. All right, so we've got under, over. Now we're going to take this piece and we're going to bring it under the loop, which we did in the last version. Now we're going to take this upper right piece over, under, over. So as you can see, we've got under, over, under, over, under. All right, now we're going to hold on to one side and we're going to tighten this one, hold and tighten this one, kind of straighten it out as we go. Okay. There we go. And there you have it. It's super cute. A braided version of the Fisherman's Knot Headband. Now, let's move on to finishing. All right, so now we've got 2 headbands. We've got a braided knotted Fisherman's Knot Headband and a not braided Fisherman's Knot Headband. Both are pretty stinking awesome and very, very cute. I love them in 2 colors. But for finishing, I'm just going to use the one braided one. Now, we have to talk about length, okay, because it's super long. This is, you would have to have a ginormous head, and this is not the length of the average head. So what I've done is I've measured my head and then I've subtracted a couple of inches, and I'm going to give you roundabout measurements. I would suggest you check this on the head of the person that you're making it for, but I do realize we make gifts and whatnot and can't do that. But I want mine for like an adult. You're going to want it to be about 20 inches long, and for a let's see, for a baby you're going to want 12 to 14 inches. For ages 1 to 3, about 16, and for ages 3 to 12, about 17 and a half, give or take. I'm going to do 20 inches for me. I will put all the information in the downloadable PDF as far as actual measurements, but do test this on the person you're making it for because you want it to fit just so. Okay, so we're going to measure 20 inches. Now, you have to decide whether you want this to be in the center or if you want it to be offset a little bit. I'm going to choose to be offset a little bit. There's no hard and fast rule as to how offset you want it to be, but it's no big deal. We're just going to pull it down. So we're going to start over here, okay? And then we're going to measure. We're going to mark first at where we're going to start, okay? So I'm using clips, but you can use pins, okay? Now we're going to go over 20 inches. And I'm going to mark there as well. We're going to mark on the inside of the 20 inches, and then on the inside, I need to adjust those on the inch. Okay, so here's what we have. We have our 20 inches from here to here. This is slightly, just slightly, ever so slightly offset. Now, the next thing we need to do is we need to cut to the preferred measurement. So on the outside of our clips and on the outside of our clips here. All right, so here we are. We've got our properly measured or estimated headband. Now, We'll now decide which is the front or the back. I'm just going to assume this is the front, which is the top, what everyone's going to see. You could easily do the other side. It's up to you, whatever you like the most. They're basically the same. Okay, so we're going to take, this is considered the right side. We're going to bring up the right sides, and we are going to not do right sides together. All right, so we're going to do right side on top of wrong side. So we'll take our clip out, and we're going to clip these together. Pins might be a little bit easier because you will be sewing this, but I'm going to clip it just so you can see it. So we have right side on the wrong side of this. Let me make sure I'm right. Oops, I need to fix that. All right, let's go back. Make sure it's not twisted like I just did. There we go. See, now we're correct. So we're going to bring this up. This is now the wrong side. This is the right side. So it's the black is the right side against the wrong side of the cream, and we will get those together. Okay, so we have that one. Now we're going to do the same thing. Make sure you're not twisted. Okay, bring this up. So we now have the wrong side is up and the right side is down, and it's right side over or on the wrong side. And we're going to give it a clip. All right, now my next thing is to stitch these together, just straight along there. We have made those stitches, and it's slightly sloppy, and that's okay. This is going to be covered up, and we're just going to trim these off a little bit just to get some of that bulk out of there. All right, this might be a good time to try it on. Make sure it's exactly the way you want before you go and finish it out, but here's what we've got here. Now this is going to be covered up, but this is your basic headband. I'll be right back with the next step. All right, here we are finishing up here. We've got our 3x3 inch square. What I did was I folded it in half and I pressed it, and then I opened it and folded one edge to the center and the other edge to the center and pressed that as well. Then I took one side, one of the raw edge sides, and I just turned it up about 1/4 inch and pressed it, and I left the other side unfolded. So here we are, we have, you know, this little rectangle that looks pretty finished on all sides except for one. Now, what we're going to do, grab your pins and or clips, and let's clean up our mess here, and let's get ready to do this next piece. All right, we have our finished headband here, okay? And here's when we've got these, so we're going to keep these together. Now, we want the finish, the prettiest side of the finish, to be on the outside. So if you have short hair like me, people are going to see this part, so you want to cover it. So we're going to we're going to turn this way, and we're going to take the right side, and we're going to center it here. Okay, can you see that? This is the right side, or the side that will be seen, is centered on our rectangle. Then we take this and bring it up, the unfinished side of our rectangle, and bring it up. You could pin it if you choose, just to keep it in place. Ouchies. Okay, and then the folded side, make sure the fold stays there. It's going to come up, and you're going to stretch it a little bit this way. You'll be able to see exactly what I did here. You can pin that as well. There we go. Now you can see what I've done is I've made a loop. All right, there it is. And it's completely covered our raw edges there, and it looks pretty nice. And so this will be the part that you can see if you're wearing this with short hair or a ponytail or whatever, okay? So it goes like this, all right? Now what you're going to do now is you're going to go to your machine, and you're going to stitch all the way around, okay? If you don't, then it's gonna want to come loose. So you're going to stitch all the way around the rectangle, making sure to stay inside this folded edge here. So you're going to go right inside this folded edge and all the way around the rectangle. I'm going to go do that, and then I'll show you my finished product. I'll be right back. Okay, so here we are. Here's our finished headband. You can see this is the right side. Now I've used black thread. You're going to use a matching thread. If you use a matching thread, it's not going to be as noticeable. You could always get away with sewing down either side and then using like a hand stitch. You could hand sew across here if you'd like, and that would keep it in place pretty well. It's up to you how you want to do it. I just did the rectangle to be just simple. But that is the gist of it, and you've got your completed headband here. Yeah, that's it. You'll use this exact same finishing method with the other variation of this, you know, the knot. It's exactly the same. Well, I don't know about you, but I love that Fisherman's Knot Headband. It's super fun and it looks great on people of all ages. So I hope you'll join us next time on Sewing School. Bye!